On the news tonight, Governor Soludo restates resolve to uphold transparency and due process in governance. Mr. Soludo calls for removal of social-cultural impediments against girl-child. INEC voids 2.7 million new registrations. Russia arrests 8 suspects over Crimea bridge explosion. Before the news in detail, here's a special message. Governor Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. Good evening and welcome to the evening news. My name is Uche Chukwu Ebonam. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has reiterated his commitment towards running a transparent government that will have direct impact on the people. Governor Soludo gave the assurance on the occasion of open bidding for internally generated revenue concessions conducted at the Professor Dorakunin Women Development Center, Oka. Government House correspondent Valentine Mbadoa reports.
Open bidding was for sanitation fees, commercial tolls, agricultural produce inspection, loading and unloading for heavy-duty trucks, sand beach, environmental remediation, borrow pits, among other concessions. Addressing the gathering, Governor Soludo, who noted that the idea of having an open and transparent bidding process was to usher in a transparent door for revenue collection in the state, thereby shutting all the existing windows. Noting that Anambra cannot wait to have a livable and prosperous smart state, Governor Soludo maintained that the whole essence is to increase the state internally generated revenue to enable the state meet up the set target for the people and the future of the state. Emphasizing that Anambra State will soon begin to witness simultaneous road construction across the state, Governor Soludo maintained that the capital and recurrent expenditures needed to achieve a greater Anambra are capital intensive. He called on the prospective winners of each section to live up to expectation, adding that the execution is expected to come in a way that will not make the people go through extraordinary hardship.
Windows. I can see windows. If I have a transparent door, the mayor, transparent. Give the government what is due. And I believe when I went to get this thing on a power, only win of why you win. Only win of why no win. If I can live out, Odo no Kanya, a Odo on the transparent, the open, and then is a new day in Anambra.
Deputy Governor Dr. Onyeka Benzim, MD/CEO of Anambra State Internally Generated Revenue, Mr. Richard Madiebo, the National President, Anambra State Association of Town Unions, Barrister Titus Agudo, among other top government functionaries, attended the event. In Oka, Valentine Mbadoa reporting for ABS News.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo has promised judicious use of state resources to give the people greater value for money. Governor Soludo made the promise when he inspected an abandoned road project linking Abagana and Nimo through Abagana Girls Secondary School in Njikoka Council area. Valentine Badoa has details.
Governor Soludo inspected the road himself alongside the State Commissioner for Works, Engineer Ifeanyi Okoma, to witness firsthand the condition of the road and how strategic the road is. In his speech shortly after inspecting the road and the erosion site, Governor Soludo promised to take on the construction as the road is strategic for the development of Njikoka Council area. He promised more value to Anambra, adding that more of such roads will get attention of his administration.
We're taking up this project very, very seriously. Ide has been, it's been a great representative of the people. Yes. We will all have to work together to get it, but your people will get value.
The member representing Njikoka 2 constituency and the Anambra State House of Assembly Chief Whip, Honorable P.T. Bida, who joined Governor Soludo during the inspection, described him as a practical governor who will surely give Anambra State a facelift and redefine governance with his style of leadership.
A practical governor, and the people oriented.
Thank you.
Who's only in there, he approve go. Now I am in a way yourself. No good, I can't be. I go more when you leave. Get up on me. On a blue and only thing to be and say, I'm not in a job emergency. Now, I represent there. PG, no go back. So, I need to make a new money in there, a bag and a new in there. Then we need to well, I don't give him 30 years to get the guaranteed. 30 years guaranteed. I know winnable 90%, get that 99%.
From Nemo, Valentine Bada reporting for ABS News.
Governor Chukwuma Soludo has called for the promotion of Igbo culture and tradition for a peaceful and progressive society. The governor made the call during a Viva symposium organized by the Society for the Development of Igbo Philosophy, Science and Technology in Oka. We have details.
The governor, represented by the Commissioner for Culture, Entertainment and Tourism, Mr. Don Onyej, noted that people are identified by their culture and language. He maintained that culture of Ndigbo promotes hard work, diligence and decency, and reminded Anambra of the numerous road projects he has commenced and solicited their cooperation in order to achieve his agenda. The governor promised to restore the lost glory of Anambra State, noting that Anambra people are doing great everywhere in the world and call on them to embrace think home philosophy. In his speech, the Vice-Chancellor of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Charles Esimone, said the created Center for Igbo and African Civilization in order to document Igbo heritage, medicine, engineering and technology for scholars to think and take different aspects for improved living standards of Ndigbo and Africa. In a paper presentation, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor Administration, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Oka, Professor Joseph Ikechebelu, who spoke on the life and name the role of IVF in resolving fertility and child sex issues in Igbo society, encourage those seeking a child to have hope in God and in science, as there is no age limit when one can have a child. In another paper presentation, Very Reverend Father Bonacratus Umogu spoke on the mediocultural exploration of Igbo cardinal values of life and name. The event attracted government functionaries, the academia, among others.
Anambra Governor's wife, Mrs. Nonya Soludo, has called for dismantling of social-cultural impediments in the way of the girl child to encourage them to attain their full potential. Mrs. Soludo, who said this in a message to mark the 2022 International Day of the Girl Child, explained that challenges in most homes are inhibiting girls from reaching the height of their dreams. We have details.
Mrs. Soludo stated that both the home and the larger society must take issues concerning the girl child more seriously and make deliberate moves to support policies that uphold the aspiration of all girl children. The governor's wife, who called for an end to social, economic and cultural impediments standing in the way of the girl child and her future, noted that it is important to take the annual event beyond chants and themes to practical action that demonstrate the willingness to give girls better future. Mrs. Soludo, who explained that parents, guardians and other stakeholders should have positive perceptions of the girl child, stressing that equal career opportunities must also be created for all genders, with the understanding that their homes and society. She commended effort by both government and non-governmental groups to promote the campaigns to protect the girl child, noting that getting the process right must begin with answering the girl child questions and arming them with the strong voices. The governor's wife said that while the present administration led by her husband is leaving no stone unturned in building the right platform for every Anambra child to thrive, She is constantly involved in every movement that prioritizes the existence and growth of all Anambra children, including the girl child.
Moving on, despite being a food basket and headquarters of Awka North local government, Achala community is still lacking basic infrastructure for improved agricultural practice, social life and others. The President General of Achala Improvement Union, Comrade Nnamdi Okunne, said this at the 2022 Iwaje Festival, organized by Udezia Igbo Village at Amabuegu Square in the community. Joseph Iwacha has details.
Comrade Ikunne, who called for government attention to pressing infrastructural needs of the community to enable it continuously play on parts in ensuring food security, called on people, especially youths, to use the forthcoming 2023 general elections to relaunch the nation on the path of sustainable development by electing people responsive to the yearnings of the masses. He noted that yam as one of farm produce is symbolic in Igbo and Achala culture.
Another afọ iweta ihe ubi iweta ji maka chi dị symbolic na omenala Igbo dịka ihe eji azụ wee na-enyelu ndụ aka bụkwara one of the farm produce ndị obodo a na-ewepụta wee na-enyere Nigeria and the world aka so onye nwaka this village na-eki wee na-celebrate.
Chairman of Udez Welfare Association and chairman of the occasion, Mr. Ifeanyi Atuanya, said though some of them live outside their community, they still show interest in agricultural practices in Achala and called for government attention to needs of farmers and people of the area, especially by providing farm input and infrastructural development.
Ofonna agolo ndị Udez wa Igbo Kingdom kedu n'ime Achala Isuana bụ na Chineke obinigwe nke na-afụ na ibe na-afụ na nzuzo ya na-agọzi ndị be anyị na anyị bara ụba baa ụba nwekwuo ife na Chineke ya eme amala anyị na-enwe ogologo ndụ na arụ isi ike na-enwekwa ife anyị eji wee na-ebi ndụ na-ejekwara Chineke ozi ka obodo anyị bụ Udez wee na-aga n'iru obodo anyị bụ Achala na Awka North na Anambra State wee na-agakwazị n'iru n'aha Jizọs.
An illustrious son of the community, Honorable Kinsilo Yammadu, who described the 2022 festival in the area as unprecedented, historic and landmark, thanked Governor Chukwuma Soludo for the Amansi Obo Family Road project being part of efforts to open up the area, adding that more infrastructural development as well as agri-free trade zone are needed to unlock agricultural and economic potential of the community and the entire Awka North.
Anyị na-ekene onye isi anyị bụ Professor Charles Soludo na nke o mere eme si Amansi wee gaba Obo Family.
The Secretary General of Alo Achala, the custodian of Achala culture, Mr. Ezewulu Madubeze, spoke on behalf of elders and members of the group at the event that held at Amabuegu Village Square, featuring masquerade and different cultural dance displays, and coming on the heels of the declaration of Iwaji Festival, opened by the traditional ruler of the community. From Achala in Awka North local government area, Joseph Ebocha reporting for ABS News.
Via from the federal scenes, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has disclosed 2.7 million new entries were weeded off as a result of double registration and a continuous voters registration. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu said this at a National Endowment for Democracy event in Washington, D.C. in the United States. He informed that the new permanent voters cards, PVCs, will be ready by November. According to him, about 50% of the new PVCs are ready but yet to be distributed to collection centers. He also raised concerns about the rising levels of insecurity across the country, saying the Commission has its fingers crossed. He, however, said they have spoken to the security agencies and they have assured that the situation will improve before the elections. On business news, the International Monetary Fund has warned that the recent incidents of flooding in some states in Nigeria will worsen food insecurity and lead to further increase in food prices across the country. My Farid African Development IMF gave this warning during the analytical corner on climate change and food insecurity in sub-Saharan Africa. Highlighting the possible economic impact of floods in Benue, Kogi and Anambra states of Nigeria, Farid said they are very cognizant of the challenge that a flood of that magnitude and how it affected Nigeria in neighboring countries, noting that Nigeria and other countries in the sub-Saharan Africa are the most food insecure region and also the region most vulnerable to climate change and yet the least prepared to pay. Farid said there is need for governments to invest in early warning system technology and infrastructure that is climate resilient. Also speaking, John Spray of the Asian Pacific Department of the IMF stressed the need to provide social assistance to moderate the impact of floods and food insecurity on the people. And from the foreign scenes, Russia has arrested 8 suspects over an explosion that damaged a strategic bridge linking annexed Crimea to Russia. Moscow regards Saturday's blast on the Kerch Strait Bridge as a terrorist attack organized by Ukrainian secret services. Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB, said today they had arrested 5 Russians and 3 citizens of Ukraine and Armenia. Explosives were stored in plastic foam rolls that left the Ukrainian port of Odessa in August and transited through Bulgaria, Georgia and Armenia before entering Russia, the service said. The FSB accused Ukraine's military intelligence service and its director, Kyrylo Budanov, of organizing the attack. 12 people were also identified as accomplices. According to the Russian news agency, at least 4 people were killed in the explosion. Ukraine has not officially confirmed its involvement, but some Ukrainian officials celebrated the incident. A senior Ukrainian official dismissed Russia's investigation. And from the world of sports, Nigeria under 17 women's train Flamingos bowed to Germany in a 2-1 defeat in their opening Group B match at the ongoing 2022 FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup in Maggio, India. The girls, led by Bankole Oluwokere, courageously utilized their skills as they played against the Europeans in the early stage of the game. Following a foul on Captain Alvin Dazauzu by Emily Warbasten, the Flamingos were awarded a free kick outside the box, which defender Miracle Usani slotted past the goalkeeper on the half-hour mark. Despite this, the Europeans restored parity 4 minutes into the second half as Sierra Toads got the Flamingos for poor defending. A minute after the hour mark, Mara Albert doubled Germany's advantage as Nigeria failed in the pursuit to restore parity. The Flamingos are currently 3rd in the group and will play against New Zealand on Friday, pending their final group game against Chile on Monday. Before we go, remember that you can follow news and program on ABS TV from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television Oka. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Television Oka. Follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. And now the main points that made the news tonight. Governor Soludo has restated resolve to uphold transparency and due process in governance. Mrs. Soludo has called for removal of socio-cultural impediments against girl child. INEC has voided 2.7 million new registrations. And finally, we told you from the foreign scenes that Russia has arrested 8 suspects over Crimea Bridge explosion. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's give him maximum support for the task ahead. That's all on the news tonight. My name is Uchechukwu Ibenam. Thank you so much for staying with us tonight. Good night.
Does your toothpaste give you complete fresh protection? New Close Up